Hi, welcome to Crore. So, why are software engineers or software development engineers highly paid, right? So, if you are the one having this question, I don't think you probably have worked as a software engineer, because if you have already worked as a software engineer, you will probably know it is not that much. Okay, fine. Let that be aside. We'll get into the actual reasons why majority of the people think that software engineers are highly paid. Okay, so the first reason is we have seen a lot of media covering these news as like IIT graduate gets a package of 1.2 crores, 2 crores of package per annum at Google in California. So we have heard a lot of these kind of news, right? Like it creates a sense of understanding like that software engineers who are graduating from such huge colleges will get exceptionally good salary, right? So the thing that is underlying here is that actually it is technically 1.5 crores or 2 crore rupees, but what you have to think is these jobs that the IIT or NIT graduates get, those will be offshore. Okay, they are not from India. Like they are not going to work here in India. They will be probably working in San Francisco, which is in California, right? So you probably know that it is one of the highly costly city, right? So the cost of living is really high over there. So you'll be spending lakhs and lakhs of rupees just for rent.
And we pay $3,850 per month for rent.
So you cannot consider that we cannot actually translate that exactly to Indian money and think that it is such a huge amount, right? So you have to have that in mind. And the other thing is that it is not actually the salary. Like if it is 1.5 crores or 2 crores, you cannot exactly divide it by 12 and say that is exactly your in-hand salary per month, right? So that is not something that we actually do here in the IT field, right? So when a company says that you have a compensation of 2 crores, it doesn't mean that you will be getting 2 crores worth of rupees in your bank account by the end of the first year. It doesn't mean that. Actually, there lies the word called compensation, right? And generally we also say another term called CTC. It means cost to company, right? So the cost to company means that it is the amount of money that the company spends on you. Okay, the cost that the company has had to acquire this talent, right? So that is cost to company, and there is no rule stating that this cost to company is the amount spent in one single year. So it means that it is the amount of money spent to acquire you. Doesn't mean it should be per year basis, right? But we don't get that. Like most of us don't know that it is not a per year basis, and we think that it is the salary per annum, right? It is not. So companies include shares in this CTC, right? So when it comes to shares, they do something called vesting period, and you will not be granted your shares straight away, right? Yeah, the shares amount that you are being promised will be given in a span of 5 years or so. So it is not exactly per year basis, right? And then they'll include health insurance, they'll include joining bonuses. All those things will be included included in this CTC, right? So you'll get all these things only once. So this joining bonus you will get it only once when you join the company. It will not be a per year basis thing, right? So you cannot consider it in your salary. So there is that. And this health insurance, you cannot take that money out and spend it, right? It's there, but you cannot do anything about it. So these are some of those things that you cannot be spending, but it is included in your CTC. And again, as I said, the cost of living will also come into play, right? And leave this aside. This is offshore work, right? Even in companies that are hiring for India, from tier 2 or tier 3 colleges, people get into packages like 30 or 40 lakhs. That also compresses under the same case. You will be having shares given to you, and you will be having one-time bonuses like joining bonus, relocation bonus. So those will be added in the CTC as well. So you cannot straight away slash it by 12, and that is not exactly the salary that you will get. And let this be aside. And coming to the other thing, right? You cannot compare this software engineering work with any other thing. Like you cannot compare this to someone who fixes doors, or like for any other job, right? Something that involves physical work. Generally, we assume that physical work is more work than someone sitting at a computer and typing all day, right? But that exactly is not the case. We are not just typing. Like it involves a lot of mental work as well, right? And it is quite stressful. A lot of developers are reporting that they are under stress, and I personally think, and most of you will agree as well, mental health is equally or even more important than physical health, right? So like you think that they are sitting all day in AC rooms under besides a computer and typing all day, but it involves way more than that. And yeah, so we should consider that as well, right? So you cannot exactly say they are highly paid, because they are making even more money for the company. So you should consider that, right? If a company is making 1 crore profit, it will be able to only then it will be able to spend lakhs and lakhs of rupees on their employees, right? If the company doesn't make enough profit with an employee, it doesn't make sense for the company to spend a lot of money on them, right? So if these engineers are highly paid, it means that they are making a lot of profit for the company. So like they are talented people, right? So it makes sense for the company to pay them as well. And companies use this, right? So every company needs highly talented people so that they can make good software and sell it and make profit. So companies want to attract these highly skilled developers, and that is why they have these packages, right? High packages, so that it attracts the developers, because that is how they make money. They get good developers, they develop really good software, they sell it for money, and that is how they get paid, right? So it makes sense for the company to get a good developer for a higher price. Even then, only if they can make enough profit from these developers, they will be able to pay these developers, right? So you cannot say they are highly paid or they are overpaid. So they are making a lot of money for the company, so they are getting paid a portion of it. You can consider it in that way as well. And like there are quite a lot of negative aspects to being a software engineer as well, right? Like I'm not telling about every company, but there are certain companies where the workers are feeling very stressful. They work for very long hours. Even there are companies that even abuse their employees, like abuse in the sense like they ask their employees to work overtime a lot of time. And like I have seen, even I don't want to say I've seen, but I've heard a lot of things about companies that not paying their developers well. And you have to consider that as well, right? A couple of kids from your college or a couple of kids from your city get really high packages, so you think every software developer gets a really good package, but that is not the case. Most people are around half of the crowd is going to get a mediocre job, even in the IT industry. Like it is not that they are not making good money. Everyone who is getting into the IT company, into the IT industry, is going to make decent money compared to anyone. Like I don't want to generalize it, but it is a highly paid industry, and it is making a lot of profit. Even like when it comes to the revenue it generates for India, it's quite high. So it is a booming industry, and in India it is making quite a lot of revenue. And that is why so many of these companies are popping up, and these developers are also getting highly paid. But yeah, I think it is fair for them to earn this much, because they're working a lot of time, and like they are even sacrificing a lot of these things, right? Like a lot of developers or a lot of people who are just sitting in their chair get back pain. Their eyes are being degraded, and like even what to say, they get obese really easily. So there are some negative factors to it as well. So we cannot blindly say that all developers are highly paid or overpaid. So yeah, that is that. So if you have any particular comments on this, put them in the comment section, or yeah, so it means that it's my time. Okay, bye. See you in the next video. If you haven't subscribed to Crore, consider subscribing to Crore. Bye.